Hello YouTube and welcome to my kitchen. Let's make lean and greens today. Today we're going to make a personal mushroom pizza. We're also going to make bibimbap bowls. I'm excited to try these, so let's get started.
For the personal portobello mushroom pizzas, you're going to need cooking spray, two 2-ounce portobello mushroom caps, stem removed and gills, scraped out, 1/4 cup of no sugar added Italian tomato sauce, 4 ounces of reduced fat shredded mozzarella cheese, and 2 tablespoons of shredded basil. Alright, so for this recipe, we're going to have to get the broil going. Let that preheat. So for this recipe, it called for the portobello caps, but we're in the middle of a pandemic and I could not find them. I was lucky to even get these. So these are just sliced and clean baby bella mushrooms, 8 ounces, and we are doubling this recipe, so that'll be 3 lean and greens for 2 people. So just remember, we're doubling this recipe. So what you want to do first, I've just got a cookie sheet with some aluminum foil, and we're going to take our cooking spray and we're going to just lightly grease this. Alright, and then we're going to spray with a little bit of the cooking spray. Just a little bit. This is going to go in the broiler. I have it on low, the broiler. It's going to go in for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to turn them, and then about 3 or 4 minutes more, just to get them, tender. So that's the plan. I'm going to shove this in the broiler. See you back in 3 to 4 minutes. So it's been 3 minutes, and this is what it looks like out of the oven. I'm going to toss it and then put it in for another 3 to 4. It's definitely smoking. It doesn't look much different. So the directions didn't say if you put the broiler on high or low. I thought to be safe, I would put it on low. So let's see what happens. So I've put, the timer's gone off. I put them in for another 4 minutes. Now it's starting to look like it's cooking. I was kind of concerned the last time. And they want them tender. And you know what, this is pretty good, because we're going to be reheating this, so, yeah, we'll get into the next part. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add tomato sauce, and remember, we're doubling this recipe, so we need one of these, and I think what I'm going to do is just kind of put it in here and mix everything together, because I don't have portobello caps, so just 1/4 of a cup twice, because we're doubling. I'm just going to take and just kind of mix this up. This is going to be interesting. I kind of wish they did have portobello caps, but it would have only been enough for 1 person, and I'm hooking for 2, so mix this up. So I couldn't find any of the mozzarella, so I have a little bit of Mexican cheese here. This is 4 ounces, and then I have a little bit of mozzarella left over. This is a lot of cheese. Like, this is an obscene amount of cheese, and I don't know. I think I'm just going to use 4 ounces because that's a lot. Mix this up a little bit too. This is definitely an experiment, guys. I mean, it should be good. It's mushrooms, tomato sauce, and cheese. I mean, that's a pretty delicious combination. And this recipe is vegetarian, so yay on that note. And then I just got a little bit of basil, which I was so surprised about finding basil. We're in a pandemic. It's usually really difficult to find basil otherwise. I don't know if you've ever looked for fresh basil in the grocery store. It's almost impossible. But I have some basil, and I'm just going to tear it up and put it in this mess. And then what we're going to do is put this back in the broiler for 3 to 4 minutes, just to get the cheese melted. So this is going to be a big pile of melted cheese with the little mushrooms, it looks like. That was about 3 or 4 leaves of basil. Just going to pat this out a little bit. And another 4 minutes in the broiler, and we should be good to go. gonna be interesting. All right, it has been another 4 minutes in the broiler on low, and this is what we have. This works out to be 1 lean, 3 greens, and 3 condiments for the day. And it was a pretty easy recipe, and I wish I had the regular Portobello caps, but we'll do with what we got in these times. On to the next. For the Bibimbap bowls, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of olive oil, 5 cups of baby spinach, 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame seed oil, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 pound of lean ground beef, 2 tablespoons of chili garlic sauce, 1 tablespoon of reduced sodium soy sauce, 2 cups of rice cauliflower, 1 cup of thinly sliced cucumber, 4 fried eggs or hard boiled, 1/2 cup of green onions, and 1 tablespoon of sesame seed. So the first thing we're going to do is get our veggies prepared. Got some green onion. It's been sitting in my fridge for a little bit, so the ends on here are a little dry, and I'm just going to cut the ends off there just because they're dry. So we're just going to chop up the green onion. We need 1/2 cup, a little 1/2 cup here, and we're just going to chop this up. And nothing too fancy. You can get like super fancy and do like diagonal cuts and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to do that until I get 1/2 cup of green onion. All right, I got my 1/2 cup of green onion. That was about 4 of the stalks of the onion. So that's ready to go. Now here's a tip. With the leftover green onion, I chopped it up. I'm going to put this in the freezer. And this will be really good for like the soups and stews. I wouldn't use it for anything else other than that, but that way you're not wasting the rest of the green onion that you have on hand. So I just cut it up, I'm gonna toss it in the freezer, and the next time I make a soup or stew, throw some in. All right, next I'm gonna prepare the baby spinach, and you could totally eat it or throw it in the pan just like this. But for ease of eating and to make it better to eat, I'm going to chop it up a little bit. Just a rough chop. I'm not going to do anything crazy. This spinach has already been washed and it says it's ready to eat. Taking a handful, literally rolling it up in a ball, and I'm just going to chop it up a little bit. And we need 5 cups. So, just going to get this going. And the spinach is going to wilt down quite a bit when we cook it, so like I said, I'm just going to do a nice rough chop, just so it's easier to eat and you're not eating these huge leaves when you go to bite into this dish. Actually, I might do one like that too. And then I got my cup, and I'm just going to, and really, because there's a lot of air sometimes with veggies, make sure you're packing it in your cupper so you can get more. So it's not like this super fluffiness going on. All right, so we got 5 cups of spinach here, all nice roughly chopped. Wait till you see how this shrinks down when we cook it. All right, we're gonna get our cucumber ready. Cucumbers have a wax on them, especially if they're not organic. They like the wax. So we're going to just peel and get that waxy skin off. I like Bibimbaps. I've had them in sandwich form, And the bread's really good, so I'm hoping this is pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. Cut off the end. And then I have, I'm gonna move this over. I have a mandolin. Oh, please be ever so careful with one of these. You can really hurt yourself. Always use the guard so you don't chop your finger. And I'm gonna do a really thin one, and I haven't used this in a while, so I gotta remember how to do this. Oh, this is it. And I want really thin slices. And all you do is set it up. Now, since I said use the guard, but since this is a longer item, I don't have to use that right away. Eventually I will. But you're just gonna do one of these down. Has it even done anything? Yeah, it's getting there. That's super thin. That's like paper. I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker, just a bit. Let's try that setting. Yeah, that's better. So just little thin pieces. So we need a cup of thin cucumber slices. Got my cup here, so I'm gonna get at it. I'm gonna watch my fingers, make sure I don't hurt myself, and I'll be, so. Okay, I have my cucumbers all sliced up. I have all my fingers. Did not injure myself. Nice thin slices. Here's how much of the cucumber I have left over. So there's our cup. Okay, so now we're going to take one teaspoon of olive oil. And we're going to heat this up. About a medium-high heat. Let that get warm. And then we're going to pour our 5 cups of spinach in here and get this wilted down. Okay, that looks good. I like it. Now we're just going to do a teaspoon of sesame seed oil. They wanted toasted. I don't really think it matters. Toasted would probably be a little bit more flavorful. This is what I have, so we're going to do a teaspoon. I'm going to do it over the hot pan because it's going to make the oil warm and it's going to make it easier to distribute throughout the spinach. And then we're just going to set this aside and let it do its thing while we create the rest of the recipe. Okay, so in the same pan that we cooked the spinach, we're going to cook the ground beef until it's brown. Means less cleanup, which is good. Okay, so what I did, so they want you to use a chili garlic sauce. This is what I had in my pantry. Couldn't find the chili garlic sauce. So my boyfriend really wanted me to use this in the recipe. So I put about 1.5 tablespoons just to season up the meat. And then they want you to add 1 tablespoon of, low sodium soy sauce. And we're just gonna let this cook a little bit and get just for like a minute, just so it gets nice and incorporated. Okay, we're gonna fry the egg now. I have never fried an egg in my entire life. They're good. I've had them a couple of times. And my boyfriend wanted fried eggs with the recipe. So I'm gonna try it. So I looked on YouTube. They said get your pan on a medium-high heat, pretty hot. All right, it's pretty hot. And they wanted you to use butter. So I just have Smart Balance Light. That's what we're gonna use. Get the butter. And they used quite a bit of butter. I don't know how this fits into the program. They said you could have a fried egg. That's how we're making it. So you want the butter to melt. Nice and melted. Okay. Then you're gonna crack the eggs in the pan. Okay, that wasn't that great, but we'll go with it. I just do 2 at a time, I guess. Then what I learned is you're gonna let it get firm looking. Wash it real quick. So, like, around the egg starts to look done, is what I got from the video. And so we're just kind of waiting until that happens. Okay, then they said add a little bit of water. I think that was too much, and you're gonna steam for a little bit. I think I added too much water. We're gonna find out. Then you're gonna steam for a couple minutes, and then you should have the perfect fried egg. I don't know if I'm gonna have the perfect fried egg. I'm curious. I'm always up for experimentation, so we'll see if this happens. Okay, it's been a couple minutes, I think. And I think that's done. I don't know. Oh yeah, I definitely used too much water. Like, too much water. Oh my goodness. That's too much water. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good fried egg. Maybe it's more of a poached egg. I don't know, but I think we're gonna go with it, and I think I'm gonna fry up the other 2. Okay, this is our finished dish. 1/2 cup of the cauliflower. I just steamed that. You can watch some other videos to see how I did that. The egg yolks are a little bit firmer than I would like. What are you gonna do? So I just split everything into 4s and put it in the bowl, and then the cucumbers, green onion, and sesame seed I put in a plastic baggie. I'm gonna reheat this when I eventually eat it, and I don't want these things getting all mushy and gross because I'm reheating. So this is the Bibimbap bowls. This is 1 leaner, 1 healthy fat, 3 greens, and 2 condiments. And actually, I'm excited to eat this. It looks really good.